Indigenous peoples are invisible in these decision-making processes, while the decisions done are going to affect us seriously. The response being offered again is fortress conservation. It's really a skewed concept of conservation because you take out the people in those areas where evidence have shown that the territories of indigenous peoples where they manage their resources have better biodiversity than even those managed by states and other conservation organizations. But with this fortress conservation approach, then you can imagine not only the displacements, but the destruction of livelihoods, cultures, identity, and knowledge, because the destruction of biodiversity is also the destruction of traditional knowledge. The destruction of biodiversity is also the destruction of indigenous food systems. And that is the discussion in the CBD, under post-2020 biodiversity framework. We don't have any choice but to increase the areas that has to be conserved. But it doesn't mean that when we say conserve, that you don't use it. For indigenous peoples, we've been using the resources around us, but in a way that we maintain a reciprocal relations that is sustainable and that we only use what we need. That is conservation. It's like people are discussing this kind of, okay, we target biodiversity, we provide finance, we provide technical assistance. But they're not looking at how indigenous peoples are actually being able to conserve sustainably our resources. The governance is an important element. How do we manage? You cannot isolate that and not just merely, okay, we conserve 30%. I mean, that doesn't happen in thin air, right? That you just, okay, we designate this as a national park, nobody's allowed, and then we reach our target. That's not the way it is. And then they say, oh, no, sorry, we cannot declare that as a national park because we need the minerals in that. I mean, that's the way things are being decided. From the perspective of indigenous peoples, that there is an ecosystem that we need to protect and not isolate the elements there for their commercial values, because that is completely disregarding that interdependence in an ecosystem. Since decisions are done again at the global level, we need to be there to present the realities that we face, the disregard to our rights, but also the disregard to what we are actually doing, what we are actually contributing, and the values and the principles and the systems that we are having are being ignored. And so we're telling them, we have systems, that's why we are saying always, we are rights holders, and particularly for this, we are land rights holders, we are land and resource holders, rights holders, and that needs to be respected. That is at the core of our struggle, but that is at the core also of the conflict, because that is also what the governments, business, and interest groups want to take away from us. Because respecting our rights mean, from their point of view, denying source of wealth for them. We will be able to optimize and enhance our contributions, our positive contributions, if our rights are protected, if our rights are secured, and we are treated as partners. This is like a David and Goliath struggle. We're facing the powers that be who wants to control our lands and resources. So we need to strengthen further our unity and our cooperation and solidarity and speak as one. We need to collaborate also with the other marginalized rights holders, like small farmers, poor peasants, small farmers, or also fisher folks, workers, slum dwellers, and also those that are experiencing discrimination like us, like women, persons with disabilities. We need to have a stronger unity and collaboration. We need to transform the system that is oppressing us or that is marginalizing us to a system that is empowering us, that we are also at the center, that we are also the actors and decision makers, and not the ones just being pushed aside. The principles of non-discrimination, equality, and social justice includes indigenous peoples. We will not give up our rights to our lands and resources.